Hello everybody and welcome back to Flute Artistry. This is video 2 of my embouchure lesson. So in this video I'm going to be actually taking what we've learned in the first video and going forward with that. So in our first video we talked about forming our embouchure and getting that nice clear sound. Well, now what we're going to be working on in this video is actually stabilizing our embouchure and starting to create relaxation and resonance, which is what gives us that nice warm flute sound. So if you are, this would be more for your later beginner, early intermediate. So if you've gone through either your Best in Class or Standard of Excellence Book 1, if you're at the end of that or you're in a Standard of Excellence Book 2 or an intermediate player, this is more aimed towards you because you have at least a 2-octave range that you can play in. So a couple things that we can do to help create that relaxation and resonance with our embouchure. One of the things that we can do is what we call long tones. So it's actually, what I'm actually going to demonstrate here is I'm going to actually hold a note and then I'm going to go back and forth between octaves. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that on a G within the treble clef and then go to the G above the treble clef. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold that and I'm going to go back and forth between them. And not really going to have a count here. I'm just going to hold it and just go back and forth between the two. And basically what I'm going to do is work on this right here, going back and forth between the two notes and basically just making sure that this stays relaxed. And again, if you have a mirror at home, I would encourage you to actually go ahead and practice in front of your mirror, that you can actually see what your embouchure hole is actually doing and what the corners of your mouth are doing. So I'm going to get as close to the camera as I can. So as you noticed that was pretty steady, just like in a lot of your more of beginner flutes and lower intermediates, just like this is still developing yet, and your muscles are still kind of getting the feel of, okay, going from one octave to another. So to help stabilize that by doing long tones, that's actually helping getting a feel. Your muscles are actually, basically they're exercising themselves to get a feel to go back and forth between those registers. Now, once you've mastered that, and actually by doing that, it actually creates stamina whenever you're playing. If you're able to go back and forth between your registers, one thing that we can add and start doing is what we call our harmonic series. So basically, we're taking our first step, which is an octave, and then we are going to go a perfect fifth above that. So we can actually go from G . We can start to add on to the harmonic series with that. This is more for your later intermediate flutes. And if you are a later intermediate flute, stay tuned because I'm actually going to talk a little bit more about the harmonic series and what that is in my next video. But we can start to actually incorporate that. If you are a little bit more of an intermediate, almost to an advanced flute, we can start doing stuff like that, those exercises, and adding more to our harmonic series with that. So another thing that we can do, again, this is more targeted more towards your later beginner intermediate flute. We can start doing what's called whistle tones. So it's exactly how it sounds. We're whistling on our flute, but only we're doing it with our air and we're not doing it from ourselves. Our flute's actually whistling, but we're creating that with the very low air pressure that we have, finding our G that we were once playing. So I'm going to go ahead and do the long tones again, and then I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate what we call a whistle tone. Now the whistle tone is going to sound, it's a little strange, but it's going to sound a little something like this. And see, I'm using very little air but steady air when I do that. It took me a minute to find it, but I did. I'll do that for you again. And that is what we call a whistle tone. So long tones and whistle tones, those are a few good exercises that you can do to help stabilize your embouchure and relax it a little bit. And so I'll go ahead and I'll conclude that portion for my video 2. I'll go ahead and move into now to my advanced version where we're going to dig into the harmonic series and embouchure exercises that's going to help create that resonance.